And it just, I can't explain the feeling. I've never heard God speak audibly. If I did, I'd probably like freak out and run out of the house or something. But there is no doubt in my mind that the Holy Spirit was in the room, and he just blanketed me with peace. So I call my mom. It's like 8 o'clock in the morning. I go, Mom. She goes, what? I said, I think I'm going to be the donor. And she said, what makes you think that? And I said, it's really weird, but I was kind of whispering. I said, it's in the room. It's peace, and I'm okay with it. I think I'm going to be the donor. And she said, honey, I don't have any of that peace. Give me some of your peace. So fast forward to a week before the surgery. We've come and gone through 15, 16 donors. They've come and gone. And we finally found a donor. His name was Paul. He was a close family friend. We're a week in front of the surgery. Ben, my sweet husband, had offered. He'd gone through the testing as well. He was the backup donor. In this kind of surgery, you have to have a backup because if the donor fails at the last minute, then you got the donor or the backup ready to go. So I went with Ben to his last test, and that was talking to the surgeon, and they go through everything that will happen during the surgery. And so Ben's reading a magazine, and I'm kind of looking around, looking at the stethoscopes and stuff, and the surgeon's trying to explain to me what's going to happen. And he said, you need to be at the hospital at Friday at 5 o'clock in the morning. And I said, well, time out. Okay, he's just the backup. We've already got a donor. And the surgeon looked at me, and he said, the donor was just cut. Ben's the donor now. And I said, what? I couldn't even look at Ben. I felt like when we were there, we're kind of going through the motions and just doing it to, because we were the backup. So he said he was cut about an hour ago, so Ben's now the donor. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I grabbed a piece of paper and a pencil out of my purse, and I started asking 50 million questions to the surgeon, writing everything down, because I thought, I'm not going to remember this. I'm in shock. So I get out of the hospital, and I call my mom. She says, what? She makes a couple of phone calls, calls me back, and she says, that's true. She said, Ben is the donor now, and we need a backup donor. Who do you think we should call? And I said, Mom, it's my turn. I said, and she burst into tears. I've seen my mom cry once in my 40 years. And I said, Mom, now hold on. We've been praying for the perfect donor for 2 months, right? And I said, we do not want to go against God's will. And if I'm the donor, then I'm the donor, right? And she said, but he doesn't know how I feel. And I said, yes, he does. He knows exactly how you feel. So the next morning, I proceeded with the rest of the testing. And I knew that the doctor was going to call my mom on a Wednesday. So I went over to my mom's house Wednesday at 3 o'clock to kind of buff it, because I knew in the back of my mind I was going to be the donor. My dad was in the back room doing dialysis, and at this point he was looking so sick, and it was just killing all of us. So I'm sitting across the desk from my mom. The phone rings, and it's the doctor, and I'm kind of looking down, and she says, well, who's the better donor, Amy or Ben? And I looked up at her, and her eyes just filled with tears, and I knew it was me at that point. I knew that he had said, Amy's the better donor. So she got off the phone, and she said, well, it's you. And I said, Mom, and I had that peace again. I just felt that really strong sense of peace, and I said, I'm okay with it. I'm going to be all right. Don't worry about it. She just said, oh, I just can't let you go. I can't have both of y'all in the hospital. And of course, I visualized me and Harold in hospital beds with our shower caps on, holding hands like Thelma and Louise, but it wasn't like that at all. So anyway, we go through the surgery, and tomorrow is our 19-month anniversary from the kidney transplant. And we celebrate, thank you. We celebrate every month, because when you come that close to death and you have a health situation that bad, you celebrate every moment and you live every day as if it's your last. I do want to show y'all a couple of pictures. Show the next picture. This was the night, that was the night before the surgery. This was the next day. Okay, that's a horrible picture of me. Flip that over. That's a little bit better. That's the next day. Go ahead. Okay, this is my mom chasing us with banana pudding, kid you not, because my stepdad had lost so much weight. Everywhere we went, she had ice cream or something, and she was following us with banana pudding. So there we go down the hall. And I think that's the last one. Oh, okay, so this is really weird. A week later, I can barely walk. Harold bounced back like that. He was at work 3 days later, and I'm laid up for at least a couple of weeks. So a week later, Mom says, "Why don't you come over for dinner?" So I come over. I never wear red. I wore that red leather jacket, and Harold's wearing a red vest. I was like, "Oh my gosh, we match. It's the kidney." So, and it's really weird. We always go to the bathroom at the same time. But okay, so go ahead and turn. This was a party that my mom had called Celebrating Amy. It was the kidney party, and this was a month after the surgery. And so we had a party, and everyone came, and we celebrated our lives. Okay, let me see. And then there's one more. That was this summer. And so we're all back together. We're all normal again, and we're healthy, and Harold's gained a few pounds, and everybody's doing good. He's playing golf again, so we have happy ending with that. If there's anything I want you guys to remember, put God first in your life. It's not about you, it's about Him. And He has a plan for each and every one of you. And you've got to remember, when He takes you down that rocky road, you got to trust Him. And you got to depend on Him, and you got to be in His will. So I want to encourage you guys to do that. And no matter what happens, do not forget to have fun while you're here. Thank you very much.